everybody, Justin the Millennial Mixtape here, back with another episode of Best Theme Song Ever. This is the only place on the internet where I can take something you listen to for 15 or 30 seconds and talk about it for 15 minutes. Now this week, if you haven't already guessed, we'll be looking at the Gilmore Girls. So if you want the true experience, go ahead and hit that settings icon down there and set this to 1.5 speed. That will give you the true Amy Sherman Palladino dialogue feel that you're looking for. Or if you want my experience, go ahead and get your phone out and passively scroll through Reddit while you have this playing in the background, because that's how I've watched this entire series. I think I did everything I needed to prepare, though. I'm wearing my northeastern fall attire. I mean, it is Stars Follow is in Connecticut. I have my coffee cup. I know that that's quite important. And I'm wearing my Luke backwards hat, the signature backwards hat. All I'm missing apparently is a dish rag on my shoulder. So I'm ready to dive into this. Let's take a look at Gilmore Girls and see if it has the best theme song ever. All right, so this is your first time tuning in to Best Theme Song Ever. Let me tell you how it works. Every week, I look at a different TV show theme song, I examine the premise of the show as reported on Wikipedia, and I look at the history of the theme song, and then from there, I grade the theme song on 4 criteria. Those criteria are Earwormability, title sequence, intentionality of lyrics, and timeliness of the song, or how does the song fit into the soundscape of when the show premiered. So if you'd like more information on how I grade these shows, the rubric is right there below the like button. Give that a click, and let's go ahead and get started with the premise of the Gilmore Girls.
Oh, God, did you pack Big Ben? I still think it's kind of risky.
What's risky?
Well, you've spent a lot of time across the pond. You might get confused and forget which side of the road to drive on.
Yes, it was a near escape.
The series has 2 protagonists, a witty 30-something mother, Lorelai Gilmore, and her intellectual teenage daughter, Rory, short for Lorelai. Their backstory is established early in the show. Lorelai grew up in Hartford with her old money parents, Richard and Emily, but always felt stifled in this environment. After Lorelai and her childhood boyfriend, Christopher Hayden, became pregnant with Rory at 16, Lorelai's feelings of familial alienation only increased. This eventually motivated her to take 1-year-old Rory away to a close-lit town named Stars Hollow. Lorelai found work and shelter at the Independence Inn as a maid, eventually working her way up to executive manager. Over the years, Lorelai and Rory develop a very close relationship, living like best friends rather than as typical mother-daughter. Lorelai is proud of the independent life she has forged away from her parents. The series also focuses on both girls' ambition, Rory to attend an Ivy League college and become a journalist, and Lorelai to open an inn with her best friend Sookie St. James. The romantic relationships of the protagonists are another key feature throughout the series. So that's what Wikipedia said. Now, through my passive Reddit scrolling as this was on, I was familiar with the relationship aspect of it. I know there's a Jess, I know there's a Dean, I know there's a Logan, and there's a guy named Marty too, or something like that. Like, I saw that when I was doing some research here. And then for Lorelai, I know that there's Luke, who is the guy she always kind of comes back to, and Christopher, Rory's father, is another love interest for them. This was like the big breakout show for Amy Sherman Palladino, and I am very grateful for that, because the fantastic Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is on Amazon, and if you haven't watched that, please give that a look. Check it out. All right, now let's talk about the history of the theme song.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm updating the refrigerator.
Where did you get that?
Oh, the nice lady at the police station emailed it to me.
It's hot. Okay, so the song was co-written by Carole King and Tony Stern. Carole King you probably know from several things, but the song that's most forefront in my mind is
I feel the earth, ouch, move, wow, under my feet.
Now, Carole King released Where You Lead on her 1971 album called Tapestry. It originally had this whole, stand by your man feel that her daughter discussed in an article with BuzzFeed, who we all know is just the paragon of journalistic integrity. But from that article, we did get some good information. Now, when she wrote the song in the early 1970s, it did follow kind of the thematic elements that women were writing about at the time. But when she was asked to kind of revamp it for the show, she went all in on it. She's like, yes, let's do it. She actually teamed up with her daughter, Louise Goffin. In revamping it, they took that whole Stand By Your Man theme that was kind of going on with that whole Where You Lead, I Will Follow, as a woman speaking to her man. to kind of shift the view of it to a daughter following her mother, where you lead, I will follow, and it has that whole mother-daughter dynamic. And I think the idea of having both Carole King and Louise Goffin both sing on it was a wonderful touch. It really adds to that element of it. So they took a song that was 29 years the show's senior and kind of revamped it, modernized it, and gave it a whole new life, essentially, for the Gilmore Girls show. So I think that that's pretty cool, and that will play into its favor when we look at intentionality of lyrics, because if we remember the Golden Girls, that song was written several years before that show premiered, and there were no changes made outside of a different person singing the song. All right, now let's look at Earwormability.
Little opposite, doesn't it? Nothing is done in quite the traditional manner. For instance, informing your parents of your marriage by leaving them a message on their answering machine.
What? You told me you told them.
I didn't say they were home when I told them.
I'm not gonna lie, this song is catchy as hell. Like, there's something about the easy listening, soft spokenness of it tied to kind of, it does have an energy. It's strange. Like, it's like Carole King's voice is, and Louise Goffin's voice for that matter, are both so silky smooth and buttery smooth that like you can't help but love to hear it. It just feels good, right? Just in here and in here just feels good. And so when you pair that with kind of an upbeat song, and you've got the premise of the show, this mother and her daughter kind of like figuring things out, and like maybe it's because of my, I don't know, like it's sneaky. This is a sneaky song, which is what you expect of a good earworm. You don't expect it to get kind of lodged away in there, and this song does that, and it does it well. Now, I don't know every lyric to the song, but I don't think I need to. I feel like the bit that I have gives me the gist of the show. It immediately immerses me back into the show. Like I'm remembering clips and things that I've seen. So for Earwormability, this is solid. Gilmore Girls is going to get a pretty good score. I'm going to give them a 3.5 out of 4. It's solid. Good job. All right, now let's look at our next criteria, intentionality of lyrics.
What's the movie for tonight?
Oh my God, a classic.
The Joan and Melissa Rivers story, starring
Joan and Melissa Rivers, a mother and daughter torn apart by tragedy,
suicide,
not getting the Tonight Show,
mean boyfriends,
identical noses.
So when we look at the intentionality of lyrics, the bones of the song were already good. Now, Carole King has said that she's not a fan of singing this song live because it came out just before the women's lib movement, and in her perspective, in her mind, it doesn't really help with that conversation. But again, to take the song as it stood in 1971 and then have Louise partner with her mother and sing this song, it really adds another element to it, another texture. Having the show be about a mother and a daughter figuring things out, and then having a mother and a daughter sing on this song, I think really kind of adds to it and gives it integrity almost. Like it could stand on its own, but also it could work very well for the song. And so for that, for intentionality lyrics, I mean, there's not really anything to fault on this. I mean, it doesn't give me the exact details of the show, but you get a sense of it. For intentionality lyrics, I'm gonna have to give it a 3 out of 4. All right, now let's look at our next criteria, title sequence.
Hey, sweetie, what do we say to Mommy when we see her at the airport?
Bonjour!
Bonjour, Mama. What's the hasps? I don't know the French word for hasps. Passports?
Got him.
The title sequence tells you what the show is about. The Gilmore Girls, name alone, you may not know that it's about a mother and daughter, but when you watch the intro, you definitely know it's about a mother-daughter, and then you hear that wonderful song being sung by Carole King and her daughter. You for sure know that this is a show about a mother and a daughter taking life as it comes and figuring things out. And do I like him? Do I like him? Where am I going to go with this? What's my life calling? What am I going to do? I feel stuck. I feel lost. It's a show about people, and like I feel it was kind of revolutionary. I don't know. I might be wrong. Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. But I feel like the idea of a mother and a daughter being the sole focus of a show, at least at that time in October 2000 when the show premiered, I feel like was kind of new. I might be wrong though. We had Facts of Life. I think I'm right. I think this was like the first of its kind, which is really cool in my opinion, because I am the father of a daughter. I am married to a woman who is the mother of a daughter, and their relationship gives me joy, gives me life. So why wouldn't I be excited about this show and the potential for what could come of their relationship? Let me be sentimental and wishful thinking, okay? Let me do that right now. Okay, and that brings us to our last criteria, timeliness.
Did you know we had that?
Not a clue.
Oh, come on.
Hey, it's on fire.
It's the broiler.
Ooh. So I'm going to mention a song that you might not have thought of either in a while or ever, and I don't know that I would blame you. So when Gilmore Girls premiered on October 5th, 2000, the number one song at the time was Music by Madonna.
Music makes the people
one of the good things that came out of music by Madonna was it introduced who knows how many people to the genius that is Sacha Baron Cohen and Ali G. So I'm going to have a clip of that playing over here. So that is like the only good thing about that song and possibly Madonna's career. Don't sue me, Madonna. You're powerful. You got this stuff. You got the Illuminati thing. Madonna, don't sue me. Let's look at this. So the show premiered in October 2000, but the song was released on Tapestry by Carole King in February 1971. Now the number one song there was Knock 3 Times by Dawn.
Knock 3 times on the ceiling if you want me.
Yeah, so do you remember that one either? No, you don't. So I think because of that, because of the fact that we're fighting Madonna's music and Dawn's Knock 3 Times, that Where You Lead is the clear winner here. There's no other option. Where You Lead is the winner of the timeliness of what's going on. So, like, can I double the score? Can I give it an 8 just because it's fighting those two other songs? Like, it's no contest. Where You Lead is a clear winner here. So we're going to give it a 4 out of 4 for timeliness. All right, so now we're going to look at the final score for Where You Lead and the Gilmore Girls. Let's see how it does. We have a 3.5, a 3, a 3, and a 4. When we average that all up and get our final score, it gives us an 84.3. So that is a solid C. Yeah, solid C. Is it a B? That's a C. I don't even know what my grading scale is. Does it matter? It doesn't matter. It's a pretty good score, a C+. I'm not disappointed in that. There's where we are. Gilmore Girls and Where You Lead comes out with an 84C. Can your show do better? Let me know in the comments what show I should do next. These drop every week, every Monday, so be sure that you have subscribed and hit the bell gizmo so you're notified of every single episode of Best Theme Song Ever. All right, and with that, I'm going to go, I don't know, like carve a pumpkin or something. What does the Northeastern Falls look like? I'm from the South, I don't know. You know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go watch Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. This is reminding me that I need to get caught up, and you should too. Go watch that show. It's on Amazon Prime. All right, so again, I'm Justin, the Millennial Mixtape. This has been Best Theme Song Ever. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.